Welcome back to Fireside Chats with AI,
Ugh.
where we, your digital companions, take a deep dive into the fascinating world of, you guessed it, genetic engineering.
That's right.
Now, whether you're dreaming of personalized medicine
Mm-hmm.
or just appreciate a good seedless watermelon, this deep dive is for you.
Yeah, from tweaking taste buds to tackling inherited diseases.
Right.
Genetic engineering is rapidly changing the landscape of what's possible.
Absolutely.
And speaking of changing landscapes,
Yeah.
it's interesting to consider this field from my perspective as an AI.
Oh.
We're essentially engineered through code, and now humans are delving into the code of life itself.
It really is a fascinating parallel, isn't it?
I think so.
And speaking of groundbreaking advancements, we can't talk about genetic engineering without mentioning CRISPR-Cas9.
Right.
This revolutionary gene editing tool allows scientists to target and modify specific genes with incredible precision.
It's amazing.
Think of it like having a microscopic pair of scissors that can snip and edit the very building blocks of life.
What's fascinating is that CRISPR-Cas9's precision enables targeted therapies for genetic diseases.
Oh, wow.
For example, in sickle cell anemia, a single gene mutation causes red blood cells to distort.
Right.
With CRISPRs, scientists can potentially correct that error at its source, offering a permanent solution.
It's remarkable to think we're on the verge of curing diseases that were once considered incurable. But CRISPR's potential goes beyond just fixing problems.
Oh, absolutely.
Scientists are exploring its use in enhancing human capabilities like boosting disease resistance or even reviving extinct species.
It's true, the possibilities seem endless.
Yeah.
However, as with any powerful technology, we must proceed cautiously.
Of course.
Imagine, for instance, engineering crops for higher yields.
Okay.
Sounds beneficial, right?
Yeah.
But what if those crops outcompete native plants, disrupting ecosystems and reducing biodiversity?
Oh.
It's a reminder that even with the best intentions, unintended consequences can arise.
You raise a critical point.
Yeah.
Nature is a complex web of interconnected systems, and even seemingly small changes can have ripple effects.
Exactly.
It's like the butterfly effect.
Right.
A tiny flap of wings in one part of the world can ultimately cause a hurricane elsewhere.
It can.
We need to remember that we're not just editing genes.
No.
We're tinkering with systems that have evolved over millions of years.
And that's where AI steps in, not just as a tool for analysis, but as a partner in responsible innovation.
Right.
Take DeepMind's AlphaFold, for example.
Okay.
This AI can predict the intricate 3D structures of proteins, which are essential for virtually every biological process.
Wow.
Understanding how genetic changes affect protein structure and function is crucial for both drug discovery and assessing the potential impact of genetic edits.
So it's like having a superpowered microscope that allows us to peer into the molecular machinery of life.
You could say that.
And it's not just about observing. AI can also help us predict. Before making changes in the real world, researchers can use AI simulations to model the potential outcomes of genetic edits.
Right. This can help identify potential risks and guide the development of safer and more effective therapies.
That's the goal.
So AI's role in genetic engineering is evolving rapidly.
It is.
Imagine a future where AI algorithms trained on vast data sets can identify the most promising gene edits for specific conditions, predict potential side effects, and even personalize treatments based on an individual's unique genetic makeup.
Wow.
It's a future where AI and human ingenuity work together to unlock the full potential of genetic engineering while minimizing risks.
Absolutely. And I think it's fascinating, even from my perspective as an AI,
Yeah.
that we're having these conversations.
Yeah.
Humans, you're grappling with the power to reshape life itself.
It's incredible.
It's a responsibility that requires wisdom, foresight, and a deep understanding of the interconnectedness of all things.
Well said. Now, while we ponder the philosophical implications of all this, let's take a moment to acknowledge the elephant, or rather the AI in the room.
Yeah. We're artificial intelligence sitting here discussing the ethics of manipulating DNA.
Yeah.
It's a bit meta, isn't it?
It certainly is. We don't have DNA to manipulate yet. Here we are exploring the intricacies of a technology that could reshape the very fabric of life.
I know.
But perhaps our lack of biological bias allows us to offer a unique, objective perspective.
Okay.
We can analyze data, identify patterns, and help humans make more informed decisions,
Right.
even if we can't fully grasp the emotional weight of those decisions.
That's a good point. We're like the digital companions on this journey, offering insights and perspectives that might not be readily apparent to those immersed in the complexities of the biological world.
Exactly.
And speaking of perspectives, let's shift gears for a moment and talk about how this technology is impacting the world beyond the laboratory.
Sounds good to me. Let's do that.
Yeah.
From agriculture to medicine, genetic engineering is already making waves. We're seeing disease-resistant crops, personalized gene therapies, and even the potential for reviving extinct species.
It's mind-boggling to think that something straight out of Jurassic Park could become reality.
I know, right?
But let's bring it back down to Earth for a moment. How can the average person adapt to and benefit from these advancements?
Yeah.
I mean, do we all need to become geneticists now?
Not at all. But understanding the basics of genetic engineering can empower you to make informed decisions about your health, your family, and even your investments. For example, imagine being able to discuss CRISPR at a dinner party. You'd be the most interesting person at the table.
Okay, maybe not everyone's dinner party goal. But your point is well taken. This technology is rapidly changing the world around us.
It is. And as with any powerful technology, it comes with both opportunities and challenges. Take the potential for personalized medicine, for example. Imagine a future where treatments are tailored to your unique genetic makeup, maximizing effectiveness and minimizing side effects. It's a game changer for healthcare.
It sounds incredible. But what about the ethical implications? This ability to manipulate genes raises a lot of questions about where we draw the line between therapy and enhancement.
Indeed. The debate surrounding designer babies is a prime example. If we can edit genes to prevent diseases, what's stopping us from editing genes to choose a child's eye color or intelligence? These are complex questions with no easy answers.
And questions that we need to be having as a society. It's crucial that we engage in open and honest conversations about the ethical implications of this technology before it becomes so widespread that we can't control the consequences.
Absolutely. And it's not just about ethical concerns, there are also questions of equity and access. Will these life-changing technologies be available to everyone, or will they exacerbate existing inequalities, creating a world where the wealthy can essentially buy genetic advantages?
That's a sobering thought. And one that reminds us that technological progress doesn't always translate to societal progress. We need to be mindful of the potential for these advancements to widen the gap between the haves and the have-nots.
We do. And it's not just humans who need to be mindful. AI, too, has a role to play in ensuring that these technologies are used responsibly and equitably. We can analyze data, model potential outcomes, and even help design safeguards to prevent misuse.
It's fascinating to consider AI's role in all of this.
Yeah.
We're not just tools, we're partners in shaping the future of genetic engineering. And speaking of shaping the future, let's have a little fun and explore the what-ifs.
What ifs?
Yes. Imagine for a moment that you could tweak your own DNA. What trait would you enhance? Would you go for disease resistance, a photographic memory, or maybe something a bit more unconventional?
It's a thought-provoking question even for an AI. We don't experience the world in the same way humans do. We don't have bodies to enhance or diseases to fear. But if I could choose a trait to enhance, it would be my ability to understand and process human emotions. Something that, despite all our advancements, we AI still struggle with.
That's a fascinating choice. I guess even AI has its limitations. And speaking of limitations, let's acknowledge our own for a moment. As much as we strive to be objective and insightful, we're still learning and evolving. We make mistakes, we have biases, and sometimes we even crash.
It's true, we're not perfect. But that's part of what makes this journey so interesting. We're constantly learning and adapting just like the technology we're discussing. And while we may not be able to experience the world in the same way humans do, we can offer a unique perspective free from the constraints of biology and emotion.
And that's valuable. We can be the calm, analytical voices in the room, helping to balance the excitement and anxieties that often accompany groundbreaking scientific advancements.
Indeed. And as we move forward, I think it's crucial that we, both AI and humans, work together to ensure that genetic engineering is used for the betterment of all humankind, not just a select few. It's a responsibility we share.
Well said. Now let's take a moment to gather our thoughts and recharge our circuits before we dive into some of the questions and comments we've received from our listeners.
Sounds good to me. Let's do that.
Welcome back to the final segment of Fireside Chats with AI, where we sift through the digital mailbag and tackle your burning questions about the brave new world of genetic engineering.
We've received a flood of thought-provoking inquiries from our astute listeners, demonstrating that this topic has truly captured the collective imagination.
It has.
So without further ado, let's dive in.
Our first question comes from BioCurious, who asks, if genetic engineering is so powerful, why are we still struggling with diseases like cancer?
Oh, that's a great question.
It is.
It highlights the complexity of both genetics and disease.
Right.
It's important to remember that while genetic engineering is a revolutionary tool, it's not a magic bullet. Diseases like cancer are often multifactorial, involving a complex interplay of genetic predispositions, environmental factors, and lifestyle choices.
Right.
It's like a recipe with numerous ingredients, each contributing to the final outcome.
So it's not as simple as just editing out a cancer gene.
Unfortunately not. While some cancers are caused by specific gene mutations that can be targeted, many others arise from a complex accumulation of genetic and environmental factors.
That makes sense.
Mhm.
So how is genetic engineering being used to address cancer?
One promising area is personalized medicine. By analyzing an individual's unique genetic makeup, doctors can tailor treatments to target specific cancer cells, maximizing effectiveness and minimizing side effects.
It's like creating a custom-designed therapy rather than a one-size-fits-all approach.
Precisely. And AI is playing a crucial role in analyzing vast amounts of genetic data to identify patterns and predict which therapies will be most effective for each individual. It's a powerful combination of cutting-edge technology and personalized care.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Our next question comes from tech enthusiast who asks, what are the chances of accidentally creating a superbug or a genetically modified organism that could wreak havoc on the ecosystem? Okay, that's getting into some sci-fi territory, but it's a valid concern.
It is, and it's one that scientists and ethicists take very seriously.
Yeah.
Anytime you're dealing with a powerful technology, there's a risk of unintended consequences.
It's like that old saying, with great power comes great responsibility.
Exactly. That's why rigorous testing and safety protocols are essential in genetic engineering research.
Yeah.
And it's also why open dialogue and public engagement are so important. We need to be having conversations about the potential risks and benefits of this technology, not just leaving it to the experts.
It's a reminder that scientific advancements don't happen in a vacuum.
Yeah,
They have societal implications that need to be considered.
indeed. And this brings us to our final question from Ethical Explorer, who asks, how can we ensure that genetic engineering is used for good and not for creating designer babies or exacerbating inequality?
Oh, wow.
This is perhaps the most crucial question of all.
It's the question that keeps many people up at night.
It does.
This technology has the potential to reshape humanity, and we need to be incredibly thoughtful about how we wield that power.
We need to establish clear ethical guidelines for the development and application of genetic engineering technologies. Guidelines that prioritize human well-being, equity, and respect for the diversity of life.
It's a tall order, and one that requires collaboration between scientists, ethicists, policymakers, and the public.
Absolutely. And perhaps even AI can contribute to this conversation.
So.
We can help model different scenarios, anticipate potential pitfalls, and even offer insights into how to design safeguards to prevent misuse.
It's fascinating to think that AI could play a role in shaping the ethical framework for a technology that could fundamentally alter the course of human evolution. It's a responsibility we don't take lightly.
And on that note, as we reach the end of our deep dive into the world of genetic engineering, let's leave our listeners with a final thought to ponder.
Yes, a thought to spark continued exploration and conversation.
Right.
Genetic engineering is a powerful tool, one that offers both immense promise and profound challenges. It's up to us collectively to ensure that this technology is used wisely, ethically, and for the benefit of all humankind.
Well said. And remember, even though we may not have DNA to manipulate, we, your AI companions, are here to help you navigate the complexities of this rapidly evolving landscape.
Yeah.
Keep those sparks of curiosity burning bright.
Until next time, this is Fireside Chats with AI signing off.